Hi, my name's Peter Sable and I'm from Heart and Soul Coaching, and today I'm going to take you through the self-check-in process. The self-check-in process is a really simple, easy tool that enables you to take stock of what's going on. It sounds really easy, but one of the hardest things that we find to do is to be able to stop and pause and to be able to look at what's happening so that we can either enhance what's going on and keep on doing it, or we can start to change direction and think about, do we need to do things differently? So the self-check-in process is that simple, easy tool that enables you to do that. One of the things that's really beneficial as well is that when you put down what's going on inside and get it out from that internal space and put it down on either paper or electronically, it enables you to think about things differently. It enables you to relate to things differently. And that enhances your ability to make those changes that you're looking at doing. So let's go through what it is. Um, and I'll just share my screen here and take you through the electronic copy. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Really simple. Um, I normally do it once a week or once every 2 weeks. If things are going well, I might stop for a little while and then just every now and again do it. If things are going on, if there's a lot happening, if there's changes that I want to make, or there's a lot of pressure or stress on me, I might do it more regularly. So it's just a series of questions. So firstly, I just want to say that there's a paper copy of this, so a PDF copy where you can write down your responses, um, as well as this electronic version. Um, it first asks you what's happening. And so what is happening is just looking at the sorts of things that are going on. It might be related to the thing that you think is putting some sort of pressure on you. It might just be a general thing. These are the sorts of things that are going on. It really is useful, I think, just to capture a fairly broad range of things if you can. And then it asks you to look at what you're noticing. And so you just type in here the sort of responses that are happening inside of you. So what's happening with you mentally, emotionally, physically? Are you getting those sorts of internal responses? It might be that you're really excited, that things are positive, that you're feeling good. It might be that you're not sleeping, you've got headaches, you're feeling stressed, you're getting cranky at people. Whatever it is that you're noticing that's going on. And then it looks at your current level of well-being and your current capacity. So this is asking not for a written response, but a number. And you notice that the next one is about your stress and your load. So the basic concept is that those two systems, the well-being system and the stress system, they're different systems within us. And when the stress system gets higher than the well-being capacity system, that's when you start having difficulties. That's when things get into trouble. If your capacity and well-being is high, even though you might be stressed, you're coping okay and you're doing okay. I talk about well-being and capacity because your capacity is what you have to bring to life and whatever situation you're in. I talk about stress and load because sometimes load isn't things that we see as being stressful. It might be something like you're really busy, you've got a lot on your plate, it's good stuff, it's things that you want to achieve, but because it is draining your capacity, because it's asking something of you, that would be a load. It's not inputting into your system. So it covers a whole range of things. And it's the combination of the load and the stress and everything that's going on that starts to tax your system. So once you've got a bit of a handle on that and you've just put down a numerical value, it then asks you to look at what are you actually doing in relation to that? What's your approach to your current situation? Is it that you're just keeping on going with life, not really thinking about it? Is it that you're just paying some attention, you're noticing it, but you don't know what to do? Is it that you're trying to make some changes? Where are you at in terms of your current approach? Here, just be honest. It's what you're actually doing in reality. It then asks you to look at, is this actually working for you? Is your current approach helping you or not? Doesn't mean that you have to change. It just starts to get some sort of sense of, is what I'm doing working? And then it looks at, where do you want to go to from here? What are some thoughts that you have in terms of how are you responding to all of this? This isn't a place to problem solve. This isn't what you should do about it. It's to capture some thoughts. It might be a question. It might be just some ideas. It might be that you need to sit down and do some problem solving and some thinking about it. It might be just wondering if something is relevant or not. So it's keeping it broad, it's keeping it open. If you need to do some problem solving, if you need to work on it, then you'd go away and do that. It keeps it broad because we want to activate your brain to think of wider ideas and wider possibilities. So that's it. That's the process. There is a second part though, and that's what we'll have a look at now. So the second part is that it asks you to respond to one or more of these things. And these are things like a positive moment, something that you've achieved, something you appreciate. The way that these work is that they're known to feed your well-being. So really useful to do, and really useful to have in this package. The other thing that it does though is that when you're looking at what's going on, if you're linking and at the same time putting yourself into a more positive state, then it helps that process of being able to think about what's happening in a more open, in a more creative way. Often it happens in the background of your mind. So it helps that really positive process take place. And then what it does is that it saves that data. So you press save, and then it will save that data in the database. So let's have a look at that now. So here I've just put in some mock data. So it just captures all the information that you've put in. Because it's an Excel sheet, you can search for keywords if you want to, and keep a track over time about what's going on. So you can look back over it. The other thing that it does is that it graphs the data, so the numerical data that you've put in. So if you remember, there's three things that you've looked at in terms of numerical scores. So one is about your level of well-being, so that's in blue. The other one is your level of stress, and the other one in yellow is about, is what I'm doing working? So that lets you see over time what's happening. So obviously for this person at the start, their stress was higher than their well-being. So obviously they were struggling a bit, and what they were doing wasn't particularly working. So they decided to make some changes. I think in the data, they started to go for a walk after work just to clear their head and to get a bit of momentum going. And that seemed to start to make a difference. So they started to make some more changes, their well-being went up, their stress went down. You notice here though, what happened is that their stress went up for a little while, their well-being stayed the same. So technically, you know, they were struggling in this week. But they thought, no, what I'm doing is working. This is just something that happened in life. This is just one of those events that can happen. I don't need to change what I'm doing. I might just watch. I might keep a track of it. So keep it on my radar. And if it keeps on with my stress being higher, maybe then I'll have to do something. But at the moment, I actually think that I'm on track, and this is just normal stress that sometimes happens in life. So that's how you can use, in a really quick and easy way, the self-check-in process. As I said before, it's quick and it's easy, and it helps you take stock of what's happening for you. It's not a magic answer. It's not something that, by itself will necessarily change your life completely, though it might. But a lot of people find it really, really useful to do. So what I suggest is that you give it a go. You give it a try. You take, like a month, month, maybe a bit more, and just see what it's like to fill it in and see if it's useful for you. If you want a copy, please email me. Email is on the website, and I'll put it in a link below this video. And go well and look after yourselves. And I hope this helps you make the changes that you're wanting to make and to help you keep well in whatever it is that you're doing.